if I couldn't be there for my wife. I used to think Grant should be. That was before I read the words she wrote for him. Noah wasn't the dramatic type. As a structural engineer in Fort Worth, he preferred things that made sense, held their weight, and followed clear lines. His life was built on calculations, personal and professional. Risks were measured, emotions were tempered, and trust, once given, was absolute. His wife, Eliza, was everything he wasn't, a communications strategist at a growing marketing agency. She lit up every room she walked into. She remembered birthdays, planned themed parties, and knew how to make a group chat feel like home. If Noah was solid ground, Eliza was motion, graceful, uncontainable. They met at a mutual friend's housewarming, bonded over their shared love of quiet mornings, and despite their differences, found rhythm in routine. Eliza brought the color, Noah brought the calm. Together, they made sense. And then there was Grant. Grant was Eliza's coworker, someone she'd mentioned early in their relationship as the guy who can make anyone laugh during 8 a.m. meetings. He was charming, a little too smooth, but generous with his time and surprisingly thoughtful. He remembered Noah's favorite beer, helped move their couch, came to all the barbecues, always brought a +1 who didn't last. By the time Eliza and Noah got engaged, Grant had become a fixture. When Noah asked him to be his best man, no one was surprised. "You've been there for both of us," Noah had said during his wedding speech. His voice strong, sincere. "If I couldn't be there for Eliza, I'd want you to be." Everyone had clapped. Grant smiled. 3 months later, Noah needed to send a work file quickly. His laptop was dead, and Eliza's was sitting on the dining table, still open from the night before. He clicked the browser, typed in the URL, and a tab auto-filled with something called Day 1. Not his usual bookmarks. He hesitated. Curiosity wasn't his habit, but this looked like a notes app. Maybe a calendar. He clicked. A journal. He saw dates, entries, titles. He almost closed it, until he saw the most recent entry. 2 days ago. The title, The Tux. He opened it, and read. He looked so beautiful in that tux. I wish I'd met him before Noah. For a moment, Noah didn't move. He stared at the screen, reading the line again, and again. Was this about him? No, she'd never call him that. Eliza always described him in terms like, strong, steady, dependable, never beautiful. Only one other man wore a tux at their wedding. Grant. The cursor blinked at the end of the sentence, like it was waiting for a reply. Noah scrolled. The next line. He didn't look at me during the vows. I looked anyway. The nausea was slow, creeping, cold. He sat back. Didn't read more. Not yet. He closed the laptop. He got up, walked to the kitchen, poured a glass of water, and stared out the window at their backyard, the garden Eliza had insisted on building. It was blooming, wildflowers in all the colors she loved. He should have felt something specific, rage, sadness, confusion, but what he felt was weight. Heavy, slow, like wet concrete settling in his chest. That night, she kissed him as usual. "How was your day?" she asked. "Busy," he said. He didn't ask about hers. She didn't offer. They watched a show, ate pasta, laughed once about something neither of them would remember. Later, in bed, she curled up next to him. Noah stared at the ceiling. He thought of tuxedos, of vows, of eyes that didn't look back. He wondered how many words she had written, and how many weren't for him. Noah didn't confront her. He didn't ask questions, didn't storm into the kitchen waving the laptop. He just waited, until the next night, when Eliza fell asleep with her hair spilling across the pillow and one hand curled near her chin like she used to do when they first met. Then, in the quiet, he opened the laptop again. The app remembered where he left off. The tux still stared back at him. He scrolled up this time. Entry after entry, descending into the past, weeks, then months, each dated like a timestamp of another version of his marriage he hadn't lived through. 9 months before the wedding. Grant makes me laugh in ways Noah never does. It's not bad, right? I mean, laughter isn't betrayal. But why do I feel the need to hide it? Noah read it 3 times. Further back. Today we spent 6 hours working on the McAllister pitch. He noticed I hadn't eaten. Brought me my favorite smoothie without asking. How does he remember the smallest things? Deeper. I hate this. I hate that I feel pulled toward him. I love Noah. I chose Noah. But Grant, I dreamt about him again. Woke up next to the wrong man. Noah leaned back, closed his eyes. The ache wasn't sharp. It was dull, worn, like a bruise that had been blooming slowly beneath his skin for months. And he just now touched it. This wasn't a physical betrayal. There were no sexts, no confessions, no hotel receipts. This was worse. It was sacred territory, her thoughts. Her unfiltered, unspoken truths. The kind of confessions meant only for pages never to be read. And now they were etched in him. Noah began waking up earlier. He didn't sleep much anyway. He started each dawn with a journal entry, not his own, but hers. I know what I'm doing is wrong. But if he ever kisses me first, I won't stop him. Why does it feel like I'm mourning something I haven't lost yet? He touched my hand today. It lingered, not inappropriate, but charged. I said nothing, neither did he. That scared me more than if he had. The wedding was 5 months away when the tone of the journal shifted. Less guilt, more longing, more confusion laced with justification. Noah's been amazing, patient, present. Maybe that's the problem. Grant is chaos, fire. He makes me question things. Noah makes me feel safe. I think I'm punishing myself for craving the danger. Noah couldn't recognize the woman who wrote those words. And yet, she slept beside him every night, cooked with him, picked out wedding linens with him. And when the wedding finally arrived, she wrote, "The vows are written, they're beautiful, so is Noah." But Grant didn't look at me during the ceremony. I don't know if that makes it easier or worse. He'd wondered, once, during the reception, why Eliza's smile seemed layered. Now he knew it had weight. Memory, regret, perhaps. He closed the laptop and stared into the dark. Who do you blame when the person you trusted isn't the one who crossed the line? When it wasn't a kiss, or a touch, just a story you were never invited to read. That day, he began pulling away, quietly, thoughtfully. He still kissed her, still said, "Love you," before work. But inside, something had shifted. He was no longer the husband. He was the reader, the outsider, the one holding her narrative like glass in his hands. He stopped wondering what Grant had done, and started questioning what Eliza had wanted him to do. It was one thing to lose your wife to another man. It was another thing entirely to realize you may have never really had her at all. Noah stared at the blinking cursor in the email draft for 20 minutes before typing a single sentence. "Do you remember where your eyes were when I said, 'I do'?" He hit send. That was it. No greeting, no explanation, no signature, just the question. Grant didn't reply. Not that night, not the next. But on the second morning, Noah's phone rang. Unknown number. He knew the voice immediately. "Noah," Grant said. Can I talk to you in person?" Noah's silence was the only answer Grant needed. "Okay," Grant continued. "I'll say it here. You're not crazy. Eliza told me she had feelings. She said she loved me. But I didn't touch her. I never acted on it. I swear." The words hung in the air like steam in a cold room. Noah stayed quiet. "I didn't want to ruin your marriage," Grant added, "so I pulled back. I didn't know what else to do." Noah finally spoke, low and slow. "And when I asked you to be my best man?" There was a long breath on the other end. "I thought it would help. Keep me in check. I thought it would shut the door for her, too. I'm sorry." Click. Noah ended the call. That night, he set his glass of water on the nightstand and sat on the edge of the bed. Eliza was brushing her hair. "He called," he said. She paused, slowly lowered the brush. "I know. He texted me, said he had to tell you. He told me you said you loved him." Eliza turned to face him. "Didn't deny it. He came first," she said quietly, "before I ever said it aloud to anyone, not even to myself. He was there, and I didn't push him away. I didn't want to." Her voice didn't tremble. That somehow made it worse. "Why marry me?" Noah asked, not angry, just tired. "Because you were safe," she whispered, "and I thought maybe that was enough. Maybe the fire would go away. Maybe I could grow into the comfort." Noah let the silence swell. "But you couldn't." Eliza looked down. I tried so hard, but every time I laughed with you, I remembered the way he made me laugh. It wasn't fair. To you, to him, to me. You stood there in front of our families, our friends, and you let me believe we were building something real. I wanted it to be real," she said. "It wasn't." Another silence, another wound without blood. "I didn't sleep with him," she offered, as if it was a bandage. "You didn't have to," Noah replied. He stood, walked to the bookshelf, pulled their wedding album down, flipped through the pages until he found the one photo, Grant adjusting his tie. Noah smiling beside him. He tore the page out, folded it in half, then again, then once more. "You didn't just betray me," he said. "You betrayed the version of love you convinced me to believe in. The kind that was built, not just felt." He set the folded photo on her vanity. "You didn't cheat on me in a hotel room. You cheated on me in your mind. In your heart. You chose him quietly, and married me out loud." He walked to the door. Eliza didn't follow. She didn't cry. She just sat there, staring at the photo, her reflection fractured in the vanity mirror. In the hallway, Noah whispered to no one. "I didn't lose to an affair. I lost to a decision I never even got to contest." The house was quiet, but everything inside him had changed. Forever. Noah didn't move out, not yet. Instead, he moved rooms. The guest room, once reserved for out-of-town visitors, became his sanctuary. A queen-size bed, one lamp, a desk, and 4 empty walls that didn't echo with laughter or shared memories. It was quiet, and he liked it that way. Eliza didn't argue. A day after their last conversation, she began packing, not frantically, not guiltily, just quietly, as though moving was a conclusion she'd already accepted weeks ago, maybe even before she walked down the aisle. She didn't go to Grant. She told Noah that herself, softly, as she zipped her final suitcase. "There's nothing left to run to," she said. "It was never about ending up with him. It was about not being ready to be with you." He didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. The house felt different with just one toothbrush, one set of footsteps, one half of the bed slept in. Noah started spending time in the garage, reorganizing tools he didn't use, sanding a workbench he never planned to finish. The silence was easier to manage when his hands were busy. One night, unable to sleep, he pulled out the old binder where he'd written his wedding vows. Not the typed version, the handwritten draft, the one with scribbles, coffee stains, and last-minute word changes. He read it line by line. "I promise to protect you, even from your own self-doubts. I promise to grow, not just beside you, but for you." He crossed those out. Then, almost without realizing, he rewrote the speech. Same structure, different voice, no illusions. This version was not for an audience. It was for him. "I stood beside a friend I trusted, and a woman I loved, thinking both would stay loyal. I see now, trust isn't just given, it's tested, and love isn't always enough. Not when it's rooted in hope rather than truth." He kept writing until dawn. When he was done, he folded the new speech and slid it into the same envelope that had once held the original. He labeled it, "Unsent." The following week, he took apart the wedding table they had built together, the one they used for gifts and guest notes. Dismantling it felt oddly ceremonial, like undoing a stage. He found the wedding photo album at the bottom of the bookshelf. Still intact, still pretending. He flipped to the photo again, Grant, standing beside him, smiling like nothing was amiss. Noah took scissors. He cut Grant out, clean, straight. Then, he looked at the image again. Just himself and Eliza now. And somehow, even that felt edited. He placed the photo in a new frame, one without glass. Let it breathe. He set it on a shelf, not to mourn, but to remember what he learned. That a beautiful moment can still come from something false. That even the wrong story can teach you how to write your own. Months passed. He didn't see Eliza, didn't ask. One morning, he received a letter, handwritten, no return address. It was from her. Just one sentence. "You didn't lose me. I was never really yours to lose." He folded the note and tucked it into the back of the wedding binder. Not to revisit, just to finish the story. That evening, Noah stood on the back porch where their wedding toasts had been given. The string lights still worked. The woods still creaked. The air still smelled of rosemary and burnt citrus. He closed his eyes, whispered the last words to himself. "I lost a wife, a friend, and a version of myself that believed in both. But I'd rather lose illusions than live inside them." He opened his eyes and stepped forward. Noah didn't shout. He didn't beg. He rewrote his vows, not for her, but for the man he became after her silence. Because some betrayals don't need scandal. They just need truth. But what if the betrayal wasn't just from a spouse? What if it was taught, encouraged, and hidden by someone who called you family? Next on Infidelity Chronicles. Bianca from Waco. Her mother-in-law knew about the affair and helped hide it. When loyalty runs in the family, so does deception.